The next presentation is by Sebastián from the Alicia Vega Foundation. He is going to talk about the situation in Latin America, and then we'll have a Q&A session, 15 minutes, and we at the Q&A will have Kazuki Nia be the MC. So let's begin with your presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's been a wonderful few days here in Japan. I'm very grateful to the World Children Med Cinema team for making it possible for us to be here today at this important symposium. My name is Sebastián Riffo Valdebenito. I'm a visual artist, painter, and illustrator, and I work professionally in both art production and research. I am also a founding board member of the Alicia Vega Foundation, serving as a director since it was established in July 24, 2017. Today, I have the challenger and honor of presenting the teaching of Alicia Vega and her children's field workshop. I had a privilege of working as an assistant to Alicia Vega for 7 years in 7 workshops, conducted between 2008 and 2015. Over those 7 years, I had the opportunity to deeply experience and understand her work from a first-hand perspective, work that was rooted in community engagement, education, and social action. Who is Alicia Vega? Alicia Vega, born in 1931, he is a distinguished educator and researcher with over 5 decades of experience in integrating artist language, especially cinema, in context of childhood and poverty in Chile. Her work has transcended borders, serving as an inspiration to filmmakers and educators worldwide. Her legacy calls for the rethink of quality public education from a right-based perspective, focused in the pursuit of dignity for all children in the country. Between 1980 and 1984, the School Field Forum was held. During this period, a total of 40,037 children for school in the metropolitan region participated in film appreciation sessions, which were conducted at the Normandy Cinema until 1983. Starting in 1934, the screenings were moved directly to school using 16mm projector. This experience laid the foundation for what would later become a children's field workshop. Alicia Vega is widely recognized for her valuable educational contribution to her leadership of the Children's Field Workshop. She dedicated this initiative continually for 30 years, from 1985 to 2015, benefited 6,482 children for various regions of Chile, most of them from areas extremely poverty. Her unique pedagogical approach views cinema as a tool that captivated children and opened doors to the world beyond their daily reality. This proposal bases on the combination of observation, creation, and reflection on both cinema and the world, involving children in the manipulating of image and encourage them to play with them as if through them they could shape their own dreams, desires, and adventures. Alicia Vega teaching methodology is a unique experience in Chile and recognized as a pioneer in Latin America, Europe, and Asia. She was inspiring numerous filmmakers and educators, both in Chile and abroad. Her social commitment to children in poverty has led to creation of organizations dedicated to studying and working in the field of cinema and education, promoting the establishment of multiple workshops based in her methodology. Furthermore, she has awakened the creative and educational vocation of many people in Chile and other countries across America and the world. Her pedagogical approach was profoundly innovative, focusing on creativity, high-quality aesthetic experience, and fostering high-impact participatory play-based skill. She valued the individual capabilities of children, empowered them as activity participants and their own process of development as a human being. In addition of her contribution as educator, Alicia Vega is also central figure in 1988 documentary Cien niños esperando un tren, 100 Children Waiting for a Train, directed by Ignacio Agüero, which highlight her role in cinema education of children. Here, we am showing two photos of the filming process of Ignacio Agüero movie. Before coming here, I went directly to Alicia Vega house to gather some unpublished material to present to you today. Early work in film education. Consideration of Alicia Vega School Film Forum. From 1980 to 1984, Alicia Vega directed the School Film Forum in closest collaboration with Carlos Besa, both graduated of the Catholic University. This project was developed under the auspices of the National Film Office and became a pioneer initiative in Chile to address the challenges faced by the country in 1980. The National Film Office was affiliated with the International Catholic Office of Cinema and attached to the National Center of Social Communication of Episcopate, CENCOSEP. The development of the School Film Forum emerging as a valuable tool to address the several intellectual, creative, reflective, and critical deterioration that the significant portion of Chile population was experiencing during the military dictatorship. According to research conducted by Alicia Vega and Carlos Besa in June 1980 under the support of National Film Office and CENCOSEP, titled The Cultural and Social Influence in Foreign Film, several issues were identified that affect the Chilean film and television landscape. This was due to the closure of 57% of cinema from the 1917 to the 1980s, and the difficulty faced by low-income population in attending paid screening. Television became a preferred option due to economic and time constraints. The programming focused mainly on foreign content, leading to passivity and indifference among most Chilean viewers toward the concealment of national realities. Additionally, political factors influence program introducing unprecedented censorship in Chile. They affected the audience critical capacity. Control imply a distortion in the audience level of critically. The research data highlighted the magnitude of the national problem, specifically among young people, who were expecting low academic performing as a significant increase in issues such as aggression, alcoholism, drug addiction. Faced with this situation, The church decided to take action and organize the planning efforts to teach young people and their teacher to use mechanism of reflection in from the image. In the second half of the 1980s, the National Film Office created the School Film Forum and the course for Film Club Monitors, in collaboration with the Center for Cultural and Artistic Inquiry and Expression, in which Alicia Vega and Carlos Besa participated as our researchers. The general objective from the first School Film Forum, as started in 1980, reported were to initiate a critical stance in young viewers toward the language for image, leading them to form a person judgment based in appreciation of intellectual and morality. 5 years later, in 1985, Alicia summarized the experience by saying, this activity consisted in watching a good film in community to later discuss it, trying to decode it together. The methodology used was a very simple, a meant to become a model easy to replicate. The evaluation and study text published annually document step by step the process used. Each student from a paid school bought a ticket, covering the rental of the Normandy cinema, the rental of the film, the hearing of the forum recording company, and the remuneration of monitors in the theater. And with the same collection, the same expenses were covered the next day for the screening for the unprivileged participant. Even free transportation was provided for them. Starting in 1984, screening took place at school themselves, reaching 40,000 students and 1,150 accompanying teachers. The school film forum sessions were highly successful, with enthusiasm reception of film and remaker participation in the post-film discussion. This provided students with a unique and liberating experience, far from the school routine and dictatorial environment of the time. The dialogues from the forum were recorded and transcribed by Carlos Besa, which were included in the annual report detailing the methodology used in the film screened. Through this series, the School Film Forum, the children have learned a social dynamic to tell naturally with their classmates, sharing their own idea, always with respect. They have been able to express their feeling, connecting the world, the film with their own reality. In parallel with the development of Cine Club, Alicia led courses from Film Club monitors. As there was nothing similar at the time, she designed a program in which various teachers and facilitators participate over 6 months, trying to establish their own cine clubs in their community, school, or parishes. The key idea was always to foster discipline and build trust in a climate of great uncertainty. Let some alert the fear monitor that they see on television is open to question, say Alicia Vega, director of the film office Sencosep. Now, a crucial moment in Alicia Vega's life came when she was 54 years old. At this mature age, she decided to become independent from Sencosep and create her own educational space, one that was deeply personal, creative, and challenging. Alicia Vega children's field workshop represent an unprecedented, significant, and revolutionary contribution to Chile's cultural and social landscape, especially in her work with children from vulnerable sectors during 1918 and 1919s. This workshop was an innovative cultural intervention developed in the context of dictatorial and poverty, which profoundly impacted in his life of thousands of children, 6,482, as I previously mentioned. Here, I would like to mention a point. It's possible to have an exact number of participants because Alicia Vega created report of everything she did. She accompanied her work with extensive research and writing for analysis and reflection. On our foundation website, you can find 35 reports related to the 35 workshops that were held. For now, they are only available in Spanish. Additionally, she saved almost all the creative material made by the children, and we have it archived at our foundation house. Today, Diego Ramirez and I have brought some work for children from 1989, which means they are 35 years old, only 2 years younger than I am. The workshop, originally from Vega personal motivation to engage with the most marginalized after years of teaching field language in Chilean university. In her own words, I began working with children living in extreme poverty. I was motivated by their materials and cultural marginalization. Background for this process. Workshop purpose. Alicia Vega Children's Film Workshop aimed to introduce cinema to children for marginalized community. Context. Held during Chile's military dictatorship and period of poverty and social restriction. Impact. Over a lot of children participant, gaining educational and emotional support through the workshop. From the start, the workshop took an inclusive pedagogical approach, inviting children to interact with the children through hands-on the creative activity, such as making optical toys that helped them understand the principle of the movement of an image. Through this activity, the children, most of whom had never seen a movie in original format, not only learning about the cinema, but also experienced improving self-esteem, acquired teamwork skill, and found a mean of personal and communal expression. As Vega noted, the method consisted of offering participants full manual works, allowing them to play and learn the expressive characteristics of the cinema image. Vega inspiration. He decided to work with the marginalized community after teaching cinema at the Chilean University. I started working with children from extreme poverty. It was motivated by their materials and cultural marginalization. Workshop focus. Provide a welcoming, creative hands approach, allowing children to understand cinema through engaging activities. The socio-political context in which Alicia developed her children's field workshop was crucial to understand the impact in the most vulnerable community. Vega began this work in 1980 as a period marked by Chile military dictatorship, during which community suffered from extreme surveillance, poverty, and mass unemployment. Workshop activities. Optical toys, children made toys to learn about movement in image, fear experience with cinema. For many, It was the first time they watched a film, skill development, enhanced self-esteem, teamwork, and creativity through cinema. The workshop offered more than just film education. Vega was aware of the emotional and psychological impact that art could have on children, especially in environments where hopelessness and precariousness were the norm. The workshop was a contribution to the family, where many times there are not boundaries of project due to poverty. Life can be very hard, and art teaches children to endure these hardships, expand their vision of the world, and be prepared and motivated to face each day. This is Vega. Art, in this case of cinema, allowed the children to develop not only creative tool, but also tool of resilience in face of the difficulties in their environment. The importance in this workshop also lies in the methodology used, which integrates a pedagogical approach that values each child's pace and ability. It wasn't about highlighting the most talented or the faster, but creating an inclusive space where everyone could learn and work together. Patience and personality attention were essential. Alicia said, many children say that they liked it most about the workshop was a patience we had and they could talk while working. This approach allowed the children, many of whom came from broken homes, to find in the workshop a space where they felt valued and respected. Subsequently, the impact of the Children Field Workshop was not limited to the children who participated, but extended to their family and communities affected by economic and social precariousness. In many cases, extreme poverty disrupted family bonds, preventing the existence of the future projects or plans and affecting every family life. In the words of Alicia Vega, the workshop was a contribution to the family unit, especially in the place where roles and boundaries within the family do not exist due to the poverty. Eh, Strengthening family bond, supporting for family, workshop fostered family cohesion as a children brought home story and skill, building confidence, weekly activity helped children feel accomplished with the strengthened family relationship, non-competitive, encouraged self-learning and creative without competition. Social and political context. In 1980s in Chile, military dictatorship, poverty, and community challenges. A place of refuge. The workshop provides a safe space for stability and emotional support. Community involvement, collaborated with local parishes, and provided temporary employment to adults as a workshop helpers. Beyond the film, Alicia Vega saw the workshop as a source of resilience, art as a stability. Vega believed art through children to handle hardship, expanded their worldwide, and build hope. For Alicia Vega, cinema has a dual nature, serving simultaneously as a medium of social communication and as a form of art. In her word, cinema is a medium of social communication, just like the press, radio, and television. In the same time, is an art. In this way, It is dual nature. Cinema informs, entertains, and expresses idea. Teaching approaches, inclusive and respectful, creative space where every child could learn at their own pace. Personalized adaptation, children felt valued and supported. Children feedback, many noted in the patient and ability to express themselves freely during the workshop. Impact on the family and the communities. This is so important. I know that violence returns and poverty remains, but also know that cinema is one of the most captivating experiences that exist. There, in the darkness of the teacher, alongside others similar behind, I'm moved by the beauty for certain image. Witnessing how children feel this same experience has been one the, of the great, greatest joy I have had, and perhaps the main reason why I have been directly. A film workshop for children in community. I only have one certain. This aspiration cannot be silenced. The last things in July 24, 2017, the Alicia Vega Cultural Foundation was created, a non-profit organization. Its board of direction included Professor Alicia Vega Duran as a president, filmmaker Ignacio Agüero as a vice president, film producer as a cultural manager Teani Steiger as a executive director, filmmaker Andrés Ovalle as a treasurer, and visual artist Sebastián Riffo as a director. This photography is very important. It's the inauguration of our house in these years. Related to the goals of our foundation, in the idea of continuing the shared Alicia Vega teaching, to achieve this, we have published the books, the Notebook of Alicia, which consists in 3 volumes that address the fundamental aspect of the workshop, the games, the films, and the language of cinema. It's crafted in Alicia's unique poetic style, meaning it's a handmade and then edited while preserving that spirit. This book has just been translated in Portuguese and also circulating in Brazil. We hope to translate it in another language to continue sharing her legacy. In Chile, we have a network of workshop leaders. The red is a space for conversation, cooperation, and continuous exchange among workshop leaders who have been introduced to the methodology created by Alicia Vega through our workshop. Its objective is to work collectively and permanently in artistic education focused in the right of children with an unwavering sense of dignity. This is part of our patrimonial work of children. This is Diego. Sorry for my English.
じゃあ質疑応答の方、始めます。
So we'd like to begin our Q&A
特
session.
にチリ
So
の研究をしてまして、
I work
大
in
学
Latin
に
America.
チリの
I work
映画運動、ドキュメン
in
タリー運動
studies,
をやっ
the
てるんですけど、
doctorates,
その関係で
and
2022年から
and
23年の
so
1
from
年間、チリの
2022 to
環境の、
2023,
調査をしていま
I
した。
have been doing some
で、その
research,
研究の一環が映画
and
研究ということだ
one
っ
of
たんで
my
すけど、
research thesis is
まあ、
film
その時
studies,
に、1年、
and
研究調査をしてます、セバスチャン。
and so Sebastian is also involved in the same.
まあ、1年の調査をやっ
And
て、
so we've worked
した
on
の
a
が、
1-year
まあ、チリにおける映画教育の すごい
research
力強
on
い伝統と、
Chilean
それに基づいた、 活
powerful
発な映画教育の現状というのが、
film
まあ、
activities.
皆さんご存
And
知だと思います
I
が、
think you know the
70
history
年
of
から73年にかけて社会主
Chile.
義政権
It
と
was a
クーデ
socialist
ターを
country in the 70s to 80s.
ほど
There was a
独
coup
裁政権がずっと
d'etat,
続いた。
and then there was a lot
そ
of
の後でまた
tension
民主化
after
が形
that.
成されて今
And
に至る
then
わけですけ
now
ど、
it
そうした歴史
became
の中
a
で、
democratic
かなり
country.
力
But
強い教育、映画教育の
now
伝統が根付い
the
ている
film
わけで
education
した。
is very strong
で、
there.
僕からの質問として
And
は、
so
そういった
my
歴史が
question
ある
is,
中で
with
育まれ
that
た
kind of
アリシャ・ベガの
history,
教育
and then
だ
you
と
have
思うんですけ
Alicia
ど、
Vega's
そのインス
education,
ピレーションとしてどういう
and
背
I'm
景
just
が
wondering
ラ
what
テンア
kind of
メリ
like
カおよび
inspiration,
チリに
like
おいて、どういうような
what
その
kind of
思想とか議論というのがアリシャに
philosophy,
関連しているのか
what
というのが
kind
まず
of
一つ。
yeah, well, how would you describe the Alicia Vega the activities in that situation?
Sí, usted quiere, ¿no?
En muchas ocasiones le hemos preguntado a Alicia, in many occasions, we ask to Alicia, what are your reference? Alicia always say us, I don't have reference, but if we research about the pedagogical approach of Chile, I remember, for example, Gabriela Mistral is a novel from Chile, woman. Maybe to me, uh, maybe is a reference.
今言ったのはガブリエラ・ミストラルという
He's talking about Gabriel Mistral, who won the Nobel a prize for literature and a poet also. And so this Gabriela Mistral is similar to Alicia Vega in philosophy.
Me parece relevante mencionar a Gabriela Mistral, siendo que es una poeta que tenía como objetivo educar a niños y niñas de Chile y que tuvo un impacto muy importante en Latinoamérica, ayudó a crear la reforma educacional en México, por ejemplo. Entonces, es alguien muy importante en ese sentido. Si bien Alicia no la reconoce como una influencia, creo que es parte de una identidad local.
So Gabriela Mistral is a poet and won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And in her literature, and she not only worked on literature activities, but she also had a passion for education and also influenced the Mexican innovation in education. And Alicia Vega thought, she never told us her source of inspiration, but I think that maybe she had some inspiration from that poet. So I also want to ask, so I went to Chile, a college in Chile for 1 year for research, and so the college has a film education course, and so when you're part of it, you can be taught how to teach children about film, and that was a big shock for me. And so Alicia Vega's activities, like other than those kinds of activities, what other activities are there in Chile that do the same?
Actualmente la fundación es una fundación joven. En ese sentido, tenemos como misión compartir el patrimonio de los más de 6.000 niños que participaron por eso trajimos unos dibujos que están acá afuera. Tenemos una casa, Fundación, que funciona como museo, donde tenemos ese patrimonio, y también estamos formando a talleristas, es decir, personas adultas que puedan ser inspiradas por las metodologías de Alicia Vega.
私ども文化財団の活動としては、先ほど
So,
プレゼンテーションにありましたけども、
anyway, so he spoke about the cultural activities and representation.
どのたちが残した、
So, being part of the workshops, and we have all these items that the children created, and we would be holding workshops all around, and we have all these teachers, so all these people who learn from that adults, and now they're able to hold their workshops.
Creo que una de las personas que ha influenciado mucho promover la educación artística cinematográfica en Chile, aparte de Alicia Vega, es su discípulo, Ignacio Agüero. Ignacio Agüero lideró un proyecto que se llama Cero en Conducta en la Universidad de Chile, en el que también hacían talleres de cine en escuelas. Y en los últimos años yo creo que hay muchos centros que están ocupando las metodologías o inspirándose en las metodologías de Alicia a lo largo de todo Chile.
So, other than Alicia, other people would be some students that were taught by Alicia. Ignacio, a director, he was taught by Alicia, and so he's collaborating with the Chile University, and it's called Scope of Zero. The title of the film, and so he's holding filmmaking workshops based on the film, and so he was influenced by Alicia Vega to do workshops. So the program, the participants in your program, I'd like to know about their response. So in your long history, I'm sure you've seen all kinds of responses. And I think that the times are changing rapidly these days. But how about recent participants? Like, is there some sort of response that you didn't get before? Any kind of reaction you didn't get before, but now you're getting? Or are there like new programs that you're adding? And so I want to know about not just the participants, also the community, how the community is accepting these programs. So when you say participants, you mean the children? Yes. Yes, I meant the children.
El cambio de la reacción de los niños siempre es muy positivo, pero tiene que ver con aspectos muy básicos, como por ejemplo el respeto, escuchar a las otras personas, trabajar en grupo, poder hablar con su familia, ¿ya? En ese sentido son puras, no es que esté buscando que los estudiantes sean cineastas, sino que sean mejores personas. Y a lo largo de los 30 años, las reacciones fueron bastante similares, aunque cada vez más complejas, por la irrupción de las nuevas tecnologías.
So for the film school in the past 30 years, the reaction from the children are that they're always positive, there's always a good effect coming from the participation. And just being able to respect people is something that the children learn, and they learn to listen to other people, and they learn to tell their families about what they experience, and it's about self-esteem and respect for others, and that has been nurtured through the film school. And also in the past 30 years, throughout that history, we have been able to get some positive responses even now, even though the times are changing. the children participating in the workshops, they respond the same.
En esos contextos de vulnerabilidad prima la violencia. Entonces es muy común que niños y niñas al comienzo solo peleen, que se tiren piedras. Entonces uno ve un proceso luego de meses de trabajo y los niños ya empiezan a valorarse.
And in the beginning, some children were very violent before participating. They in the beginning they would have arguments and throw things at each other, but by the time the workshop was ending, they started to respect each other. So that was one other thing I'd like to note. So, any kind of new programs, like so I'm sure that you have some programs, and you have programs for all kinds of schools. But anyway, my question is, what are the programs after they become adults?
Bueno, la primera tarea es que en Chile se pueda conocer a Alicia, porque la verdad es que no es una persona todavía muy conocida, ¿ya? Si bien ha ganado muchos premios, en lo macro no es tan conocida. En lo popular no termina siendo conocida. Entonces, lo primero es que sea conocida y que sea conocido su trabajo, que durante muchos años estuvo muy resguardado. Y recién en el 2017 pudimos abrir los archivos. Eso quiere decir que Alicia es bastante nueva a nivel popular. Lo único que se conocía era la película de Ignacio.
So the opportunity in our future activities is to first create awareness of Alicia Vega. So although she is pretty prominent, because Ignacio Aguirre's films are popular, but Alicia Vega has opportunity to gain more awareness, and her workshops, her activities have been reported, recorded, and archived in detail by herself. So that's great information that we can open more to the public, and that could help to create awareness.
Nos hemos encontrado con adultos que hace 30 años participaron del taller y que aún recuerdan con mucho cariño el taller y tienen su carpeta. Es decir, que son personas. Nos encontramos, por ejemplo, con profesores de colegio que se vieron muy motivados con ellos. Es decir, sí hay un cambio y que sí lo podemos ver en personas adultas de 50 años, por ejemplo.
So children of the workshop become adults, and so I do meet the children, well, who used to be children 30 years ago in the workshop. I see them often. And the workshop is not necessarily focused only on creating film production professionals. It is about 30 years ago, they created the files of their work, and they still keep them because they're very precious. So helping them to live as humans is what we try to do, and we believe that has become realized to a certain extent. Thank you so much.